Hello, my name is Rago with Rago Fabrication. Today we're going to install a 42-inch 5D bar from Freedom LED bars on this first-gen Toyota Tacoma. We're going to go step by step into this install to make install as simple as possible. So to start this install, we're going to need a few tools. You're going to need a cordless drill, a 1/4 by 20 nut zert or rivet nut install tool. You're going to need a center punch, a pneumatic one, or a regular one with a hammer will do just fine. You're going to need your Rago Fabrication 42-inch LED brackets. You're going to need a 25/64 drill bit. Don't try to go and use the unibit to get to the hole size. Make sure you buy the correct drill bit. You could run into problems. The sheet metal is really thin and it's very easy to go past where you need to be. You're going to need a unibit and some blue tape so you don't scratch the body. And of course, you're going to get your 42-inch Freedom LED bar. This LED bar is a really good bar. It's a spot flood combo. It's the highest grade bar you can get in the price range. And Freedom LED donates 10% of all the year-end profit to a non-profit veterans organization. So we really like that. So to get this install started, we're going to peel back the weather stripping and we're going to see where the LED bracket is supposed to go. It's designed to go right before this seam right here. And what we want to do is just see where we need to put the blue tape so we don't scratch the vehicle. So now that we know where it's going to go, we're going to take our blue tape. Peel it off. Stick it on the body so it doesn't scratch. Just make long pieces so you don't waste your time and have to redo it. And for right now, what we're going to do is get the bracket, put it really where it needs to go, put the weather stripping back, and go ahead and close the door on it. So you're not going to mount it, you're just going to put it there. And you're going to do the same thing to the other side, and then we're going to pre-install our bar here for height adjustment. So we pre-fit our Rago Fabrication brackets. The only thing holding it in is the door being closed on the brackets on both sides. And we installed our Freedom LED 5D bar, this 42-inch bar. As you can see, we're pre-fitting it, and we're doing this because we want to cycle our windshield wipers to make sure they're clear. These brackets are designed to sit as low as possible inside the window tint of the vehicle. So you don't really want to go too high. What you want to do is test your limits and see how low you can do it without scraping the windshield wipers. That'll give you a low profile look. What I did is the screws that come with the bar are a tad bit long, but I like this because I can install a nut into the bolt, and I'll go ahead and tighten up the bolt, and then when we are done installing the brackets, I'll take my 10mm wrench and tighten up that nut, and it really secures the whole bar in there really tight. So when you're off-roading, it won't twist or any of that stuff. Now you want to be vigilant into where this is pointing, because the brackets will twist if this bar is pointed down. Because this is a radius bar and these bends are at an angle, there is a fine line between fitting and not fitting. So make sure you adjust the bar to where you want it and the brackets are sitting really well. That's very important on our next step when we're about to make the mark where we want to drill this bracket and beginning installing it. Also, one thing to mention is be vigilant of where your wiring is. You don't want to install it on the wrong side or the side you choose to install it, so you don't have to go back and forth and flip it over and waste time. So the first step to do now that it's mounted is to check the windshield wiper clearance. And I'm going to go ahead and do that. And nothing rubs, everything looks good. So we're going to go ahead and go on our next step. And we're going to center punch our hole. We're going to center punch our hole in both these holes using our center punch. And it's important to use one of these because you don't want your holes to be off, your bar will be off. So we're going to go ahead and make sure the bracket is where it's supposed to be. And go ahead and either you can mark this with the Sharpie first if you feel more comfortable, or go ahead and center punch this like it is. And then get a friend to help you take off the bar, and you want to drill the pilot hole in here with the unibit, and then go to the correct drill bit size. So we took the bar off so it doesn't slide off the roof, and what we're going to do is check our brackets and make sure we center punch in the right spot. And this hump right here, or this seam in the car, is a really good reference for where the bar needs to go. That's why we put this notch in it, so we don't have a jog in the bracket and want it rock. So everything lines up good. We recenter punched our holes just to make a better divot. So it just went like this. Let's repunch them. Let's repunch it. And now we're going to get our unibit and make a little pilot hole to the point where it's just before we want to drill with the correct drill bit. Take your time, go slow. There's double layered metal there, so it's a little bit thicker. We're going to go in the next one. What you can do is just check if you need to go a little bit more. Just go slow. Take your time. Now we're going to get our 25/64 drill bit. Line it up. Just go really slow. What you want to do is just peel off the tape. If there's any burrs, just get your unibit and by hand just knock off those burrs. So now that our rivet nuts are in, and they're in there really well, we're going to take our rivet nut tool. It's really simple. There's adjustments on here to adjust tension. So just go ahead and thread this in all the way down, and then squeeze on it. Go ahead and screw it in a little bit more. Squeeze it till it's really tight and can't go anymore. You could pick up one of these tools at Harbor Freight for around 28 bucks. They have the universal ones. This is a more expensive one because I do this all the time. But either way, it serves a purpose. So those are all crunched. You're going to want to take your Rago Fabrication bracket. And go ahead and tighten down those screws. And you want to do one side at a time. So what we're going to do is install this. We're going to mount the light bar back up. And then we're going to check for evenness or level to the car, and then do the same thing to the other side. And then you're pretty much done. It's just that easy. So on the next scene is I'll be installing the other side. I'm not going to go over drilling again because it's basically the same thing. So I'll see you in a little bit. So as you can see, we mounted the other side and the light bar is on. Now what I wanted to show you is how I prefer to tighten up this light bar. Is I took the factory screw that came with the bar and I put on the nut. Now I like this method because it really cinches in the bar and keeps it from twisting when you're off-roading or whatever the case may be. So I go ahead and I tighten it as tight as possible. Don't go tightening it too tight because they are aluminum threads and you could strip them out. So what I'm going to do is tighten this. I'm going to hold it here and go ahead and tighten up that nut with the 10mm wrench and just do it snug. And what it does is it cinches up all the threads and any slack that's in there, and it will not move. It's very, 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 very strong. It's stronger than if you didn't have the nut or just the washer, and it will not move. I've had a case where someone tried to steal a bar and they couldn't take off the bar because it was too tight and they were just using the Allen wrench. So that's why I prefer this method. There's other forms of anti-theft, anti-tamper-proof bolts you can choose to put on there, and you can find those online on eBay. It's 6mm bolt. And this concludes the install. All you have to do now is go ahead and wire. Just a helpful tip on wiring. There is a groove in the Toyota that you can run the wire down this groove in the windshield and then run it through the cab. So that's my helpful wiring tip, and this will conclude this install video.